Because what happens is when we wear the mask, we're not dealing with the things below the surface. And if you don't begin to address some of those internal things with talking to safe systems of care, and when I say that, I'm talking about teachers and counselors and parents and people in the community, people that you know, even best friends, people that you can confide in, and to begin to talk and to process some of your hurts and your pains and your emotional struggles. Because if you don't, the pressure is going to find its way out. You see, communicating and talking about these things, it's the healthiest, safest way for us to constantly alleviate that pressure. But what happens is we're wearing masks, and so that pressure builds, and it needs to find a way out. So some of us turn to thoughts of giving up. Some of us turn to thoughts of self-harming. Some of us turn to picking on kids and bullying kids, because honestly, hurting people hurt people. And so some of you that come to school and you pick on us and you tear us down with your words, you're just hurting too, because you got a lot of pressure and emotional struggles. And when you look in the mirror, you don't see value and you don't see worth and you don't have self-respect and you think nobody cares about you and you want somebody to look at you and to value you. And so what you do, it's natural. Us that pick on kids, We've learned to come to school and we find kids that we think are weaker than us, and we cut them down with our words and we step on them with our words, and we think that we have to take our worth and our value from students and our peers and our classmates around us. The problem is you can never take your value from somebody. And whoever you are that's picking on kids, see, you're just like many of us that's wearing the mask. Even though your friends laugh at your jokes, even though you feel like you're in control and you're intimidating some of us, the truth is that's never going to satisfy the inclination that you're looking for, that you're important and that you have value, because what you're doing is you're masking your pain too. You're just letting the pressure out in a different way. And the problem is, young man or young lady, whoever you are that are picking on kids and bullying kids and making fun of us, we're all going to grow up and forget about you. We're going to forget about you. Eventually, we're going to get through Connersville Middle School. We're going to go to the high school. Maybe we'll move to another school, another state. But we're going to grow up, and many of us are going to become very successful. And we're going to go on and live life and have a successful life. But all of you that are cutting us down with your words, the problem is, and here's the reality, you're stuck with you. You're stuck with you, young man, young lady. And some of you know exactly who I'm talking about in here. Some of you know that you come to school and you're verbally abusive and you make fun of kids and you pick on students. You're stuck with you. And you're never going to get rid of you. And we're going to grow up and forget about your hurtful words. But until you, and I'm a huge advocate. I don't tell students to quit bullying just because you need to stop bullying and it's wrong. I'm not that naive. If you're picking on kids and I look at you and say, hey bro, you got to stop picking on kids, you're not just going to stop picking on kids. I need you to understand why you need to stop picking on kids, and here's why. Because until you take off your mask and you get real with why you're treating us the way you're treating us, because hurting people hurt people. And we're going to grow up and forget about you. And you're going to go through your middle school, your high school, your college, your 20s, your 30s, and you're stuck with you. And if you don't begin to understand that you've got to take off the mask and get to the root of why you treat us and pick on us and make fun of us, because you're hurting. You see, you're coping with your pain and your emotional hurts in a different way. You use anger and you intimidate and you think you have to step on us because you have to take your value from us. It's never going to work. You're never going to reach your full potential, whoever you are in here, young man. See, if I could have any of you face to face, any of you young men and young ladies in here who are just angry and frustrated and hurting, and that you come to school and you wear your mask and you got this thick skin and you have this image and you don't let anybody get too close to you. If I could have you one-on-one, man, I would look each one of you eye to eye and let you know how valuable and how much worth that you have. And that your dreams and your goals, and every one of you young men and young ladies that are picking on us, man, that you can achieve and become anything that you want to become, but you're never going to get there by stepping on us with your words. You're never going to. You've got to take off your mask. And so my real heart for you is not for you to stop bullying just because you know it's wrong, but I would dare some of you. I would plead with some of you. And I'm not expecting you to make some big stand because I know you care so much about what your friends think about you. But when you're at home by yourself and you're not around those friends and the real you comes to the surface, the one that when you're in your bedroom by yourself and you take off the mask and you let the real person surface that's hurting. My real question, I would just beg you today, tomorrow, sometime just to ask yourself this question. Why? Why am I coming to school and verbally abusive? Why am I coming to school and picking on kids? Why? Because you need to find the root for you. I'm not telling you need to find the root because you're hurting others. I need you to find the root of why you're verbally, mentally, and emotionally abusing us for you. Because I want you to have all that life has for you, and you're never going to get there by cutting us down. That's just real.